And welcome to Conservatives Talk.
And we're going to recap 2023 and get you ready for 2024.
And welcome to Conservatives Talk. My name is Justin.
And this is Jamie.
And as always, let's take a quick moment to remind all of our viewers to make sure you are hitting the like button as well as the share button on any of our productions that you run across any of the platforms that we release it on, as well as making sure that you are also hitting that subscribe button. That way you can always stay up to date on all the content that we're going to be producing moving forward in 2024. You're not going to want to miss anything that we're going to be releasing, simply because it is going to be your best place to get the most informative things going on in both your local area and anywhere in the state of Georgia. We also encourage our viewers to make sure you're going to our website at conservativestalk.org and becoming a sponsor today, because it is because of our sponsors that we're able to continue to produce this content and really get it out and distribute it out far and wide. So with that, Jamie, how about giving us your first reminder?
Boycott hometown headlines. And 2024 might change it. You know what I mean? So that's something to look forward to. But always remember to boycott hometown headlines.
In 2024, we will be changing it.
Yeah.
Because
hometown headlines. That's God. Y'all did it. Thank you.
Bye-bye. With that, we also like to take a quick moment to recognize and thank our affiliates. And our first one being Net News Network. So you can find Net News Network at netnewsnetwork.net. It is a great compilation of local on the ground grassroots activists that are really producing their own news and newscasts and getting them out, sharing from their perspective what's going on in their local areas. We also like to say a quick thank you to Veterans for America First, the premier America First policy organization. And these guys are incredible. They really take it from a very personalized perspective, but when it comes to anything that they produce and release out, they're great. You can find them on every major social media platform, and you can look for them by searching for Vet Voice. So make sure you are looking for Vet Voice on every major social media platform. So with that, Jamie, how about let's go ahead and jump right on into it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot we can kind of cover. You know, we've done a lot of great things, and a lot of incredibly crazy things have happened since we had our last episode. You know? Oh
yeah. I mean, so we've had local elections that here locally went incredibly well.
Yeah. I mean, Rome, Georgia really came out and spoke and said that, you know, it's time to be a pro-business atmosphere again. It's time to get, liberalism, all of it out of Floyd County. And y'all really came out to vote, and we thank y'all for that. Wayne and Harry and Craig and Jim all, ran great campaigns. Their campaign managers did great jobs. And, that was really enthusiastic to see such a big win right here in our hometown.
Absolutely. Anyone that says that Rome is becoming this liberal hot spot here obviously missed the last results of this past election.
Yeah, I think it's something to be proud of for Northwest Georgia, especially because, I mean, Rome is the only metro area in the state of Georgia that has not, turned blue. You got Savannah, Macon, Atlanta, and Rome still head heavy to our conservative values, which is really good. I mean,
absolutely. So another part of it is, we just had the latest round of redistricting upheld, even though, quite frankly, I agree with most of the Republican Senate that the judge's ruling and his orders were completely out of line.
I agree.
But still, now the new maps have been drawn. The lines or the numbers or the partisan divide is still going to be the same, essentially. I think that the Democrats may be picking up to maybe 2 to 3 extra seats in the House. That's about it. They really won't have much of a stand in the Senate. But you hear a lot of the Democrats coming out and calling for an end to partisan gerrymandering.
which technically is what they were helping do with this last redistricting. So I don't know where that comes from, but you know, what I mean, like you said, the breakdown in the congressional level will still be the same pretty much with a 9-5 split across all 14 districts. You know, great areas were picked up to lean more conservative, and you know, and the state house, like you said, I mean, they may pick up 2 seats. So I really kind of don't know what the point of what this was, but you know, okay.
They thought that they would pick up the 6th, in which they're going to likely get the 6th,
but
we're getting the 7th.
It made a stronger 7th. Like, I don't know. All right.
From looking at the we should call them the partisan breakdowns of the congressional districts, about every Republican seat got stronger. Every Democrat seat got stronger.
Whatever.
I mean, the Democrats are coming out and calling for an end to partisan gerrymandering. Well, I'm calling for an end to their racist gerrymandering.
Absolutely, because I mean,
that's their biggest thing. The
biggest thing was they wanted stronger Black districts, but I mean, who's to say that that's supposed to be Democratic? They tried to put a racial line on it, but that's not necessarily true. You're starting to see, especially in Black men, more Black males coming out and showing that they are truly conservative. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's going to backfire on the Democrats long term. And I think that long term, you know, if we get more boots on the ground, that they're going to lose more seats than they actually thought they would gain 2 or 3.
Yeah, no, they're fighting a losing battle, and I think it's really because people are beginning to see the failed policies and plans and platforms of the Democrat Party and how it's actually hurting everyone, and no one's actually getting any better. Everyone's worse off than any time that we've ever had.
Yeah, and I mean, not to really jump subjects real quick, but I mean, like, I just want to talk about this because Justin's going to be shocked, right? I wrote something down because this is more failed liberal policies that are getting ready to be implemented on a national level. And you can see where this is going to backfire against the Democrats on local levels. You know, let's start with the fact of California. California has a mandate for trans toys to have their own section inside of department stores now. You know that's going to backfire.
I need you to define trans toys.
I don't know what that means. Okay. All that really means is that there's going to be now a label, like, and I'm just going to use this as an example, Walmart, right? There's not going to be a label in Walmart and Target that says toys and then has a section that says trans toys, because there's not a label that defines what section of toys is right now. So now we're categorizing the toy section. That's a problem, right?
Yeah, that I don't get it.
I don't get it.
What type of toy would be a trans toy?
Transformers. I had to say it. I wouldn't be me if I didn't say it.
Sometimes I wonder why I do this.
I mean, still sticking with California and their problematic laws, right? California also introduced a $20 minimum wage that goes into effect in 2024. And a national brand like Pizza Hut has already started to fire their drivers in preparation of this. So once again, you now have a counterproductive law that's passed by Democratic policies that is going to do more damage than it is going to do help.
You okay?
I'm teared up a little bit.
Yeah, it's getting to me too.
You know what I mean? Homelessness hurts me. Because that's all they're creating is more homelessness.
Yeah, that $20 minimum wage deal, that's going to destroy businesses throughout, not just the larger retailers. I mean, it's going to kill small business and the small business growth. I'm not entirely sure of what the employment level is before they have to start paying the $20 minimum wage, or if that's across the entire state for every business out there. But imagine you are in a very rural part of California, and there is very rural parts of California outside of, the major metropolitan areas that you got: San Francisco, San Diego, you've got LA. Outside of those little hot spots and pockets, it's very rural.
Yeah.
And what's that going to do to those businesses there?
And it's going to destroy them. And then think about small businesses, right? Most people who, The average person will go out and cut grass. They'll do something just to make ends meet. If, their paycheck isn't doing it, they'll get a second job, whatever, right? California also implements their gas restriction law for lawnmowers, leaf blowers, and everything else in 2024. So now you're going to have people who are out of jobs, who employers are having to fire people because they can't afford to keep as many employees. And then these people are going to go out and try to find something, but now they can't even use gasoline to cut somebody else's grass to try to make up the difference.
Well, I guess California really won't be much of a sanctuary state anymore, will it? That's probably going to get us canceled there.
Hey, that's a good one though. That's a good one. I mean, I started thinking about it as I was saying it. I mean, you can't really cut grass when a whole state burns anyway. But I'm just saying.
A little bit of a powder keg.
I'm just saying. It's still sticking with random liberal laws, right, that go into effect in 2024. Minnesota is now decided that they are going to implement having tampons in boys' bathrooms. I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't get it.
I mean, why? If you're looking at just this from a financial perspective, that is going to be, in the long run, millions of dollars that Minnesota taxpayers are going to have to now come in and finance for this BS that's going on in that state. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. Especially for a chromosome that doesn't PMS.
Yeah. You're just full of the one-liners tonight, aren't you?
I'm zinging. I got some emotional damage I got to deal with.
I don't know if I call it zinging. You're doing something. That makes no sense whatsoever. And it's just reinstilling the idea and the notion that there aren't two genders. And there absolutely are. And your gender is what you were born with. I mean,
yeah. As an adult, you can go out and look as weird as you want to.
Yeah.
Who cares? Right? The freaks come out at night, but the reality is that there are two genders, regardless of whatever you think you are. There's genetically only two genders, period.
Yeah, absolutely. But now that they're going to be required to have these in all the bathrooms, I imagine that they're going to be in every school bathroom out there from elementary on up. So they're going to be just ramming this down the throats of the kids and saying that this is how this is supposed to be. And it's not only sickening, but it's also disheartening.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, what are parents supposed to come in and tell their kids when their son walks in and ask, "Hey, Mom, what was this thing that was in the bathroom that when I turn the knob on it, it shoots out this little cotton thing?"
What can you imagine the first time the kid brings it home and goes, "What's this?"
Yeah. Why is it in the bathroom?
Makes no sense. None whatsoever. In other news, New York City, liberal capital of the East Coast, is now making it harder to build. They are now saying that in 2024, New York City will not allow the use of natural gas in new construction.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself is awful. I mean, think about it. We now have another natural resource that we could use to keep people warm, to fuel, and they're now taking it away.
Clean and efficient.
I mean, this goes right back down to, trickle down from the Biden administration on their, reduction on natural gas and using American resources instead of buying, resources from other countries.
Yes. So I heard out of the corner of my ear, I'll put it that way. Yeah, I can hear out of corners. You very gifted person.
Justin's deaf.
Very gifted person. I've heard that one of the reasons why they're doing this, or the big reason behind why they're doing this, is for health concerns for children.
That doesn't make any sense.
And that being what it was, I believe the statistic was 21% of all asthma-related cases come back to being affected by natural gas being supposedly fumes that are being burned off through natural gas. 21% of major asthma medical attacks come from that. That's
I'll have to look that up because
exactly. Well, it was a Democrat that said it. It was
because
it was a Democrat that said it. But
I'm not sure that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't buy it either. But that's one of the reasons that they're using to try and sell it.
Because it's like, what?
Save the children. But yeah, we're going to kill all the children in the womb, as well as tell all the children that they're not really boys and girls.
Yep. And then teach them that it's okay for both.
Mm-hmm.
I will never understand liberal policies or liberal ideas.
Yeah.
No.
It makes no sense. It's really dumb.
Sticking with New York, though, New York has decided that they're going to ban solitary confinement in local jails. But keep it in major prisons, which means that private corporations can still use solitary confinement, but in your local precincts, they will not be able to. That's a problem.
When somebody's, solitary confinement is also another name for protective custody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no protective custody in the state of New York now. That means that if you're being placed in protective care, if you've been arrested, but you're a cooperating witness in a major trial, they can't put you by yourself. You have to go into the general population, where you're going to likely get killed.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what
I think this follows with something we covered about Chicago. Waiting hours beforehand. So now you're just making it easier for criminals to get away and for people who are cooperating to get injured and die. Liberal policies, man.
You
helping criminals everywhere.
You gotta love their initiative, though. I mean, they make it so easy just to really vote against them.
I mean, they just make it blatantly obvious that they are the party of criminals. That they are only looking out for the interest of those who really align with their policies, but they have circulated to make sure that it's criminals who are donating to them.
Yeah. And those future potential criminals. But no, other things that we've had going on with this here in 2023, you're looking at some of the most defining events that have gone on in American history. I mean, it is truly a historical era that we're living in. Not just speaking politically, but throughout every aspect of our life. Talking about the whole criminal aspect of things, they have charged a former president of, I believe it's almost 91 felony counts now. They have special federal investigators trying to fast track and remove any appellate process of this of a president. They're trying to have him thrown in jail from the federal government on down to the state governments. He's being sued civilly in state courts. He's being prosecuted criminally in other state courts, and he's being prosecuted criminally in federal courts. At what point is it going to be enough? What time, at what point do we finally stand up and say, look, our federal government is no longer, our government is no longer working towards our interests, no longer working in our interests. It's no longer working to help promote and to better America. It's looking out for its own interests. It's looking out for its own world. It's looking out for its own future as opposed to the betterment or the future of America. Because that's quite frankly what they're doing there. They're only looking towards the future of the Democrat Party because they know that President Trump is by far the only person that can beat Biden when it comes to the presidential election, in which he will beat Biden, and they know that, so they are coming after him in order to keep that from happening. At what point is enough going to be enough? When are these judges, when are these prosecutors finally going to say, okay, I took an oath about this. I've built my entire dedicated life around the concept of betterment of law for the citizens of the United States. At what point are they finally going to say, okay, I can't really go along with your game anymore?
I hope soon, because this is this is more than machines.
Mhm.
This is more than at the ballot. This is really an honest obstruction of justice. I mean, ironically, as I wear this shirt, the Democrats, and ironically, it's the Democrats, right? The Democrats have only removed 2 people off of ballots, Abraham Lincoln and Donald Trump, in the history of the country.
Yep.
They've only stood up and removed 2 people. And both of them happen to be profound presidents in our history. And I think that it's the irony of the fact that you see now this dismantlement as far as the country goes. You know, you got Colorado removing from a ballot, you got Maine removing from a ballot, you got Michigan trying but upholding it, but still leaving the option open to where he can make it on the primary ballot, but if they see fit, they can remove him on the general ballot. This is unheard of in America, and it's time for us to really start thinking about what we as the people need to do next.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it was the Secretary of State in Maine that came out and said, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and make the call that we're going to remove him from the ballot. Just unilaterally made the decision.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm irked. I mean,
I'm curious to see how I would be curious to see what constitutional argument that would be made behind that, because as the Constitution says, the states have the right. If Maine doesn't have a law in place that would allow for the Secretary of State just to say, yeah, not on the ballot. I'd be curious to see how that would work out.
And what does the president say if that's upheld? That just because a party doesn't like someone and they're in office, they can remove anyone.
Yeah.
That's Russia, man. Like that is literally socialism. I mean, even Russia allows for Putin to be on the battle when they know they're killing his opponents. Well, they end up being sick and dying of natural causes. That's what they say. You know what I mean? He ended up being
barrels.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? We removed him because he committed alleged fraud. That's insane. That's the world we live in now.
Hopefully not for too much longer.
I know.
But before we jump into what's coming in the future, let's take a look at what we have to do in between each segment, and that being to remind all of our viewers to make sure you are hitting the like button and the share button on anything that we are producing and releasing, as well as subscribing to all the platforms. That way you can stay up to date to everything that we are releasing, putting out there. We also ask that you go to our website at conservativestalk.org and becoming a sponsor to help us continue producing all of these and getting you all of this information, as well as Jamie and my perspective on what we are talking about here. So with that, let's talk a little bit about what our viewers can expect from Conservatives Talk going into 2024. So the first part is going to be we are returning back to our old schedule where we will be releasing our shows back out on every Wednesday and Saturday. We took a slight break. We had a lot that was going on there for a little bit. No information. Can't really go into that, legally speaking.
We've been busy.
Yes, to say the least. And then ended up needing a little bit of a vacation. But now we're going to be back out and strong and running like we normally are, and getting you the content and the shows that we typically have. That way we can help influence and sway, as well as bring you the information that you do need to know. So some of the things that we are looking at doing, and we're really wanting to help bring, let's call it Central South Georgia to Northwest Georgia. We have an open seat in the Georgia 3rd Congressional District. We're going to be speaking with several of the candidates. We're going to be, we'll have interviews with them. We may go down. We may talk to some of them. We may just have them come on via our platform here and just do it remote. But either way, we want to be able to introduce these candidates and really help get some of their messages out there, and really be able to allow for them to have a wider voice throughout the entire state, and help them get across the platform. Some of the other things that we're going to be doing, as well as we're going to be really jumping in to and keeping a very close eye on what's going on under the Gold Dome, because we will no longer be safe for the first part of 2024 because the Georgia legislature will be in session. It's a little joke. As long as the Georgia legislation's in session, no one's safe.
No one's safe. But we're excited to continue to bring on elected officials from all of Georgia, as well as across the country.
Mm-hmm.
We'll continue to do our national thing, as well as, really hone in on the state of Georgia. And like Justin said, in the 3rd Congressional District, we're going to go down there and help a little bit, and then see what happens in the 7th, as well as a few other places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they say the 6th is lost now, but who knows? We just talked about it. A lot of these minority populations are swinging more towards the Republican side.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I think it's, you all saw it here first. We saw a local seat in the state assembly in Ohio flip,
mm-hmm.
Along those same lines. You had, an African-American male who came in and, showed his conservative values, flipped a Democratic seat. You're going to truly believe that you're going to see that in more places across the country. And we're going to continue to bring you that content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A couple of the things that we're really going to be harping on, and that is, we're hoping to potentially get in some presidential candidates. Not gonna presidential candidate, because
there's only one.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna hold my breath, because
hey, you never know.
That's a strong one. Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, we'll continue to bring updates that are going on throughout Congress, both the state, both the House and the Senate, and keep you informed on what we know that they're doing, and give you kind of some of the insight from some of the members that we speak to and that we know, so that you can get a better understanding of some of the mind frame and the workings that are going on up there. But 2024 is definitely going to be a very
fun.
Yeah, fun's an interesting way of putting it. Well, I mean, another thing that we're really going to be bringing into view as well, and we're potentially going to be playing we could play a bigger part in, is the convention cycle that's coming up.
Yeah. I mean, you got the RNC convention cycle, where we go through the process of picking the Republican nominee for president. And so we're going to bring you some day-to-day stuff about it, as well as, not to tell too much, but Justin and I are going to be on the road a lot more. And we'll bring you back some information that we have learned, or that we're gathering from across the country, and talking to other people, and, getting to speak with more people on boots on the ground, and let you know what's really going on in other states, and how you can help not just your local area, but other states as well, to make sure that conservative movement continues and we push back on liberalism. Absolutely.
So with that, as with every great thing in life, it all comes to an end. We would like to take a moment to remind our viewers to make sure you are hitting the like button and the share button on any of the platforms that we release on, as well as making sure you're subscribing to all of those platforms. We also like to take a moment and ask that you go to our website at conservativestalk.org and become a sponsor today, because it is through your sponsorships that we're able to continue to produce this content, really get it out, share it out. We're able to get more, or gather more information, become a much more wider reaching and impactful organization. So, Jamie, now that we've reached it, how about giving us your final thoughts?
Final thought is this. Look at this awesome shirt that someone got me. I don't know if y'all can see it. It says Ford Theater. Awful. 1 star. Awful. Would not recommend.
Let me guess, that was his ghostwriter.
I love my friends and family. This is by far my favorite Christmas gift. I think it's my only Christmas gift, but that's a whole other ballgame. But also with that, I just want to say, Happy New Year, happy Merry Christmas, happy to be back. We'll see y'all in 2024, and we look forward to working with you all on making sure that we continue to push forth a good conservative grassroots effort.
And with that, this is Conservative Talk, and we'll be